Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. To those of you who are new here, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for joining our team. My name is Susan and I'm a Namibian YouTuber. So today we are doing a story time. I'm going to tell you the story of how I found out I was pregnant and just how the whole story went down. And I'm not telling this story as a boasting thing or just to make people feel bad for those who did different. So I'm not telling this story to shun people or just to make them feel bad for decisions that I've made or what. I'm just telling my story so that you as my subscribers understand where I'm coming from when I tell you different stories or giving you different advices. I'm just speaking from some experiences that I've gone through. Yeah, and I'm doing it for you guys to get to know me and just understand me. So when I talk to you about something, you know my story and you can relate if you could. So let's not waste too much time. Let's just start with the story. So it begins with da-da-da. You know what happens for people to get pregnant, right? Anyways, I found out I was late. And then I kept on telling myself, like, no, it's going to happen. My period's going to come. I'm going to see my period. And then the period came. It wasn't a period, but, like those things, the symptoms of periods are the same as the ones of pregnancy. So I kept on telling myself, no, this is it. I'm getting my periods. And then it didn't happen. So I was, not forced, but I had to go buy a test to find out if I'm really pregnant or not. So I was a student in Owongo, which is a campus like 30 kilometers or 36. Is it 30? Maybe around there. So it's away from the town, the nearest town, and that's where I am from. Yeah, so I got a ride to town to buy a pregnancy test. And then I went to my brother because my brother worked in town then. So I just went to where he was. He was working at a certain bar. And there's a toilet there. So I knew I could go to that toilet and do my test there. So the stupidness in me or whatever, I didn't know that I could actually pee on the stick or something. So I just, got this, the cap, the cool drink cap, and then I peed in it, and then I took my stick and then I put it in. So it didn't even take time, the lines were like 2 lines. That means positive, right? A lot of feelings really started going through my head. And I was scared. I was like really confused, because number one, I don't have my mom. So how am I going to tell my dad who's strict? And, where will I put my kid if I have to go back to school? Where can I go rent? I'm poor. I don't have money. Who's going to stay with my baby? I can't afford a nanny. How am I going to afford all the clothes and all that? So I was really scared and confused and all that. So, and it's not a good place to be in, especially when you're just 19 and a student and poor and your dad is strict and, just all those things in one. So I didn't really, I got scared, I got confused, but I just called my friend. Like, I texted her like, dude, I'm pregnant, because that she knows what I mean. Like, that's how we talk. Like, when something is serious, we just text a straight sentence. We don't go around like, oh, I did this and this and this. No, I just texted her like, oh, dude, I'm pregnant. Then she was like, it is what it is. She was really supportive of me, like, and everybody would be lucky to have a friend like that who supports you in whatever you do or supports you when days are tough. So she has really been my rock. As I told you, we didn't have money. She could buy me stuff. She could cook and call me to go eat at her room. And, she was really, 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 really supportive. And so it was time for me to tell my dad, my strict dad. I said my strict dad. I told you already my dad was strict. So it was time for me to tell him. So I rang him up. No, I texted him like, Dad, I'm pregnant. And imagine saying it in Oshibambo. Like saying it in Oshibambo. So my dad My dad wanted to hear it from my own mouth, so he called me. He was like, hello, yeah, what were you saying? I was like, didn't tell, like I'm pregnant. I was like, tell the guy that I'm not sending you money anymore. Tell him that you were never hungry when you were under my care and he should take care of you. Now, you are his responsibility. Then I was so scared. Okay, my heart broke because my dad said that to me, but I understood because as a parent, you get disappointed. Your 19-year-old daughter went to school to study and she's telling you she was pregnant. So it was hard then, like my dad didn't want to talk to me and I couldn't, like, he was my only sole supporter, like he was my only sole provider. He gave me everything I had, the little I had. So what was I gonna do? So my older brother was really also supportive. Like he could send me like a 150 there, 200, and then it was enough for me because I've always liked or had enough. Like even the little to me was just enough. So he could support me here and there. So it has been 28 days since I told my dad, and then I was studying in this other room with my friend, and then my phone rang. It was my dad. It was my dad. My dad was calling, and then he was like, so you don't call your dad anymore? And I was like, yes, my dad is back. I didn't have really anyone. My mom was not there. And okay, my older sister was around, but she wasn't around. She was in Lavish Bay then. So I hardly had anyone but my friend and my dad. But my friend couldn't give me money. She wasn't my parent. So yeah, my dad called me. I was so happy. I didn't study for the rest of the night because I was so excited that my dad called me back. Okay, throughout that time, my ex-boyfriend then told me that he hated my friend. So I had two friends. One I was so close with, then the other. And then after I found out that I was pregnant, I became more friends with the other one. And then my ex always hated this one. So I didn't understand why he hated her so much. And then I kept on asking why. He couldn't tell me. And then I let it go. And then later, he told me like he told me like after I gave birth, he told me like, do you know that if when you found out you were pregnant, we were friends with this one, she could have convinced you to do an abortion or to have an abortion. Then I was like, he doesn't know what he's talking about, like. So I was like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. She couldn't convince me to have an abortion, and I'm strong. I don't let people influence me that easily. So, but you never know. In the state of confusion and scared, you are scared. You don't have money. You don't know what your mind could have, where your mind could have taken. So I'm just grateful that I made friends with my other friend then, and then when I found out, I was more closer to her than to the other one. Otherwise, I don't know what could have happened. I'm not saying I could have done it. I'm just saying that you never know. I was scared, and I was just 19, Yeah, and I was actually really lucky because my friend, the one I made, or the one I ended up telling that I was pregnant, the one who have been with me the whole time, she is even the one who ended up creating a baby shower for me. So she got some clothes through, she got me some clothes through the baby shower. She did a small fundraising, and she also used a lot of her money she got from her mom, like her pocket money. So apart from me being scared of what to tell my dad and all that, I was also scared that where will I get the clothes for the baby? Like where will I get the clothes? So my ex then was working somewhere, and he was getting some amount of money, so he could give me. So he created a card, a Jet card. Jet is a clothing store. He had a Jet card where he could deposit some money, and then I can go get the diapers and clothes and all that. But that card was being rotated between his baby mamas. So there will be a time where I go there and my name is not on the card. So I have like, we have to call him and rearrange the whole thing so my name could go on the card so I can get clothes and all that. So it was kind of crazy. It was so crazy. So yeah, that was pretty much it. So I 6 months. So 6 months in, there was a day. Okay, so there was this hour thing, you know, like you can register one person that you can call. And then my ex used to call me like every day. And then there was a day when, go Zoe. So there was a day when he didn't call me. He called me like for 2 minutes and then that's it. So I knew the airtime was up because he didn't register me on that hour thing. So I was asking myself like, why? And then, you know, he was not smart about cheating and all that. So I ended up texting him one time and then he replied, don't text me, I'm with my girl. Then I was like, with your girl, what do you mean? Then he just sent me a number like, this is her number, you can call her. And that's it. So I was hurt. I was disappointed. I cried for like an hour or 5. And then that's it. I told him I don't want any more of this. I'm young. I don't want to end up with diseases. I don't want to end up, I'm young. I have so much more ahead of me. So if you don't want with me, or if you feel like you can have other girlfriends there, just take them, keep them. I'm gone, like, I was that strong. I was that strong to let him go. That's where when I give you advices to move on, I give you advice to move on, because some of you don't even have kids together. I understand love and all that, but imagine I was pregnant, 6 months pregnant, and I told him, like, you gave me this reason, I'm done with you. I can't put myself or my kid at risk. So then I was also scared, like, do I have diseases? Because the side that he's showing me now is that he's like a bad person. He's a cheater. He's a player and all that. Do I have diseases? So I was scared, like, what if I have a disease? I'm pregnant. I'm 19. Is this the end? So when I give you advices, this is where I'm standing from, where I'm standing. I was also in a certain situation, but I got kind of strong. Like, I got out. I didn't really get stuck there, even if I really loved the person that much. Anyways, I became single 19-year-old pregnant lady. And time went on until I gave birth to my beautiful baby girl. And, so I gave birth to a beautiful girl. She's 7 now. And she's beautiful, really beautiful, cute. More beautiful than me. And, I'm happy about that because she's mine. I don't care. And the reason or the moral of this story, or what I'm trying to tell you out of this, is just that you can live a relationship when it's not serving you what you want or what you deserve. You can be pregnant, but just find the strength and walk away. The other thing is that if you're pregnant, it's not the end of the world. Just try and, don't resort to other, okay, you know what's good for you when you're pregnant. So if it happens, it's not the end of the world. You can still do a lot after that baby is born. And you never know, that baby might end up being your, like, bundle of joy and all that. So the other thing, to those of you who are young, if you can avoid being pregnant, do that, because it doesn't get easy. Especially in my case, single mother without a mother, a 19-year-old single mother without her mother to guide her, and you are poor, you don't have money, you can't pay for a nanny. So it's just that if you can avoid being pregnant, or if you can avoid getting pregnant now, if you feel like you're not ready, don't get pregnant. There are a lot of ways to prevent getting pregnant. You can go for pills or, contraceptives, or you can just go for plan B or whatever. Anything. Just make sure you're ready. I didn't have really somebody to tell me that you shouldn't do this and this and this. So that's why I ended up where I ended up. But I just hope you learn something from this. it's not the end of the world. And you can do so much. You're strong. You're stronger than you think. You can do a lot with your life, even if you have a kid. And you know, you can't plan for everything. Sometimes things you plan for don't happen. Sometimes things happen that you didn't plan for. So just enjoy. Yeah. Yeah, they start saying that if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Be like, you're gonna what? You know, like, yeah, so he already knows. So if you believe. Yeah. So that's it for today. I hope you learned something from this. Don't forget to subscribe, share with your friends. And thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I will tell you, next time, if you're wondering about my birth story, I can come up with a new video for my birth story, or how the challenges of being a single mom without your mother to help you out, and you're poor, you don't have a job, unemployed, single mother without your mother, and that, you know, how hard it was. It was really hard. Yeah, so yeah, let's not talk about that today, but it's gonna happen.